Yes, indeed, a very pleasant, good evening to you. This is Pastor Rob coming to you from Jamaican Explosion this evening, and wow, it's just a beautiful day in the Atlanta area. Everybody's out and about, and I'm so glad that you were able to tune in this evening with me on Jamaican Explosion. As folks get ready to sign in and come on, I just want to say to you, we have an interesting show planned this evening coming up in a few seconds, maybe even minutes. We'll have none other than the acclaimed Mr. Willie Stewart, OD, drummer, percussionist, songwriter, and a whole lot of different other titles from the international group or international band known as Third World. Those of us that grew up in the 80s, 90s, 2000, wow, Third World was a treat. And I happen to have one of the original members with us today, and we'll bring him on here in a few minutes. Along later on today, I've got also Mr. Everton Christie, a financial educator, stopping by. He's senior marketing director of World System Builders, and he'll be giving us some financial advice. Okay, so I look forward to speaking with Mr. Everton Christie later on. And of course, we're going to end it off later on this evening with Dr. Jason Pendergrass, registered mental health counselor, as he speaks to us on the mental health situation of men. Are we taking care of ourselves? Are we taking care of our minds? Are we taking care of our bodies? Are we taking care of ourselves? Are we taking care of those that are around us? So, hey, welcome this evening. Welcome, welcome. This is Jamaican Explosion, and I'm truly yours, Pastor Rob. And in the background sounds courtesy of the none other than Third World, the musical instrumental. Yes, indeed, folks, as promised, here he is, none other than the great Mr. Willie Stewart. Welcome to Jamaican Explosion this evening.
Thank you, Pastor Rob. Really a pleasure to be here. I must apologize last week. It was my fault. You
Let's
advertised.
hear your mic up a little bit. I think on your mic it went down there a little bit.
Oh, do you'll do it? You'll bring it up?
Yeah, let's turn it up a little bit.
You can turn it up.
Your mic.
My mic?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can turn it up. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Is it better now? Is it better?
Okay. Did you turn your mic down? When you were speaking to me earlier today, I was able to hear
I
you.
didn't do anything.
Mic at all.
I never did. Hold on. That's mute. I'm up. I'm speaking. Hold on. Let me speak up. I didn't do anything.
Okay. Speak now, Willie.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes. I could hear you loud and clear now. Wow.
So
wow.
what was that technical difficulty?
Okay, so we had the music going a little bit higher than your mic, so it was
Okay.
I think so. You're good.
I wanted to apologize. Thank you for having me on the show, Pastor Robert, doing an excellent job. Thank you, sir. And also, I would like to apologize for last week. It was my fault. I know I'd put it out there, and I didn't mean that, but it clashed with the engagement that I had to play at and things. But thank you for having me on today, so I'm really appreciate it.
Well, as nothing happens before the time, and good things are worth waiting on.
Thank you, sir.
Good things are worth. So I'm glad that you could find the time to have us, have a chance to come on to this program and just even have an interview with myself this evening. Okay, but Mr. Stewart, Willie, or how do you like for me to call? You know?
Everybody calls me Willie. That's
We are
Willie.
okay, all right. So we are right then. So uh, it's where do we start with a person of your level of expertise within the business?
Well,
What-
Pastor,
Yes.
Pastor Rob, first of all, there's only one expertise, is the Almighty God.
Well,
So
praise God for that.
that is everything. I am just a vessel that
Yes,
God just used me to be. So my life
yes.
was like planned for me, and
Mm.
I just go by it, and I just have to give praises. That's all, you know.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because he's the orchestrator.
Of course,
And he's the one that sends us here and assigns us. And I was even writing about that this morning. Or we are given different assignments. You
that's very
know,
true, sir.
and I know that what you are doing, it's more than an assignment now, but it was assigned for it. It was ordained for you to do
Mhm.
what you do and what you did with Third World. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I find today that a lot of people,
Hmm.
um, everybody came to earth to do something that God
Yes,
assigned them to.
that's
When you
correct.
do what God assigned you to, it's never
Yes.
work. It's never work.
Mm.
Because you're passionate about it. It's like
Yes. Yes.
every part of you deal with that. So
Yes.
I think a lot of people stray from that because of other things that they say, "Oh, let me do this," or "I'm going to do it because my parents tell me," or but truly in them is really something else that they came to do. And
Yeah.
so, but when you do something that God assigned you to, and you know it, you're passionate about,
Yes.
that's where the God element. So you never what you do is never one day of work. To me, when
Yeah.
I play music, if I play to 10 people, one or two, three, 4,000, is the
Yeah.
same way I'm gonna do it, because it's like I love doing it.
Hmm.
In fact, I overdo it. When I say that I'm playing music, I'm going to play longer, I'm going to do the best,
Hmm.
because it's not like you ever get fed up of it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm
Right.
saying it right.
It comes naturally. It just flows naturally. It comes naturally, and every time you do it, you feel a certain amount of satisfaction within the soul. Because when we're doing the work that God has assigned us to do, we have a certain amount of satisfaction because we're fulfilling the destiny, so to speak. Yeah.
And that's the greatest feeling, because even when I used to play with Third World, which was, I left in 1997, I did 21, or I said 22 years with them.
Wow. Hmm.
And in playing as a group,
Yes.
the love that the brothers had, and growing up as kids together, when we
Yes.
play a concert, is like the energy that
Yeah.
was expelled. People would
Hmm.
talk about it for 2 to 3 weeks, because I think it's that love energy that come down along with
Hmm.
what we were ordained to do.
Hmm.
And I believe that what happened is that it was like nothing else. I can't explain to you. When we played like for Giant Stadium, and I think it was around 1980 at the Giant Stadium,
Hmm.
and we had to play for this was when you had to play for the world, with different protests that happened around the world,
Okay.
and we got to play to open the concert,
Hmm.
80,000 people. And
Wow.
when you see the people exploded and clap,
Hmm.
and it was like nothing else. To me, is God showing us. And many on that trip with Third World, many times our connection with Stevie Wonder, when we
Hmm.
played in Africa, every
Hmm.
time Japan, there
Hmm.
was this magic that the band had when it played, whether it was creation or whatever, that it just gelled in such a unique way. And
Yes.
the people would come and say, boy, they really love that. They really, an innovative that the band had.
Yeah.
I think we had a road to go on that God ordained,
Yes.
and I think that by sticking to that, and everything had its time,
Uh,
everything had its time.
and purpose.
And I think that what happened is that Ibu and myself left in 1997, because there was another calling to deal
Hmm.
with the youth. So
Hmm.
because when we were with Third World, we'd always talk and lecture the youth, and always trying to bring them in for certain things.
Hmm.
And leaving Third World on one level and
Hmm.
coming to another level, which you don't know how it was going to happen,
Yeah.
I think is the biggest test, because I mean, you're driving in limousines, you're riding cars, interviews, you're traveling the world 250 days of the year,
Yes.
and then now to make a decision that boy, and you don't know where you're going, you decide that they're calling. That's
Yes.
not, that, I think that's the biggest test
Yes.
because you're shielded by the six members of the group. All of you are
Mm.
a team. You're a brand,
Yes.
and then you're gonna walk. Ibu gonna walk one way. I walk the other way, and
Hmm.
so we're going to go take on a new thing. You don't
Hmm.
have. It's not like you get a job to Stevie Wonder or Santana. Where you're going into. You're not guaranteed. I
Yeah.
went back to England to study, not knowing what's going to happen. Ibu
Wow.
went to Jamaica, and then I actually Ibu went on to Africa. Michael
Yes.
Ibu, God
Hmm.
bless his soul. He died last year
Mm.
and thing. But and so he went and he made such a difference with the School of Music and the
Hmm.
children and with the company that he worked with. It was amazing how he changed the face of music. So what I'm saying here is that with that positive energy
Yes.
of the Father, God, the Creator, whatever what people want to call God, the
Hmm.
Supreme
Hmm.
Almighty, with
Right.
that behind you,
Hmm.
you can always survive. And
Yes.
I give thanks where I got to work with children on different programs. Up to a month ago, we
Yes.
put on a big show called Rhythms of Africa,
Yes. I
and
got
we
some.
have to train students,
Hmm.
and for like 30 hours of training. Some of them never
Hmm.
played before, and to
Hmm.
play in a concert with professional musicians. And it's just been blessed. We have full houses.
Hmm.
The concerts is the concert remind me of when I was in Third World.
Yeah.
The musicians that are picked, the artists that come on, the children that perform, is
Hmm.
like one big love family.
Hmm.
You know.
And I think I have a little footage from that to come up here to bring up to about. I think this was probably your first one. Uh,
Yes, yeah, that was the very first, and from there it has moved up notches.
okay, yeah, and that's the rhythms of Africa, right?
Yes.
Let's get it going.
We should have more community events like this that are free and are open to the public. Because it's not, as I said, this doesn't happen very often. I know it's going to be a big turnout, and I just know it's going to be fantastic.
Now, oh, what are you do? What that? Where you learn that?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, that was the first. That was the first one ever. That
Yes,
little youth
yes,
called Miguel is now
yes.
graduating from he's graduating from the New York school. Um
Wow,
yeah, man. He
wow.
in May he'll be traveling all over the world as a incredible drummer
Wow, wow. Well, he was hanging
from
tight
Juilliard,
here,
the University of Juilliard. He will graduate now, May from
Yes.
Juilliard. Have traveled the whole of Europe and is in with demand from three different big groups.
Wow, wow,
That
wow.
local youth, yeah.
Yeah. You see, when you plant the seed, though, Willie, when you plant the seed, and the seed that is planted in the proper soil will grow. It will grow up, and you even see the benefits
Hmm.
from even you taking your time that day to having this little boy on stage with you. You
But he
could,
grew more than that. He played with me continuously, and at least till he was I would say like up to 16.
yeah,
He
uh-huh.
left and went to university. He was there playing with us, and you see him going and playing on the different things. It was amazing.
Yes, wow, wow. So Willie, we skip past how you actually got started in the with the drumming business. How did you, how did it begin for you?
Well, born in England to Jamaican parents,
Hmm.
I would be sometimes I would always be hitting on pots and pans,
Hmm.
and to be lucky enough, in my house, that time we had this guest house. My father had this big guest house, and upstairs we had um, she became my godmother. She was Scottish,
Hmm.
and she had a son called George Rudder, and he was a drummer. And
Hmm.
then my other brother Gene used to play guitar, so I used to hear them playing.
Hmm.
And one day he came down and I said, "Play this," and I played it. And said, "Well, listen," they said to my mother, "That's a natural drummer." But I was playing pots and pans, and it started there. I would listen to. So my exposure was to a little bit of blue beat
Yeah.
and a lot of rock and different things. And then now, uh, after a while, my other
Hmm.
brother, who is Byron Lee, he came to England, and they had a big reunion, and I ended up going to when I came to Jamaica when I was 11, and
Hmm.
at RJR, Byron Lee was playing outside
Hmm.
of RJR, this big concert,
Hmm.
and I looked at my mother and said, "This is what I want to do." Drums. My mother grabbed me by the and said, "Hey, hey, you all go to school." So me just know, cause when I saw the drum set, when I saw I think the drummer was called Barry Lloyd. It was amazing, you know.
Okay, well, but did I hear you say that Baron Lee is one of your brothers?
Same, yeah, same mother, different father. So
Re-
when I was six, so
Serious?
when, yeah,
Seriously?
no, 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 seriously. So when I was, yeah, so when I was, I Never Lee, if you know the music business, Sonic Sounds,
Yeah,
Never Lee came up, was living with me, of course, with my mother and all in England, and
yeah,
he's a lot of people don't know that Never Lee
yeah.
he was a collector of music before he was even Sonic Sound. That's why, and he used to play in the house, Akabil, South African music, so jazz. So my whole thing was exposed to a lot
Yeah.
of music then. Yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so when I was 16, cut a
Yeah.
long story, going into England and then being in Jamaica, I
Yes.
formed my own band in Wilmers called Vision. Well, I didn't form it. They started to form it. I was a drummer in
Okay.
Wilmers with a band called Visions. And we moved on from there. And I was original drummer for Inner Circle
Uh-huh. Wow. Yes, I know that. I know that.
along with the Boo. And then
Hmm.
no, I left I left Circus maybe after 3 years, and then I
Hmm.
went to Byron Lee. I played with Byron Lee for at least 2.5, 3 years. My first tour was America,
Okay.
driving from here to Montreal, and
Hmm.
then I went to Iceland
Wow.
at
Wow.
the age of 16.
At the
I
age of
was so
16, huh?
with people like Sterling, Lester Sterling, and
Yes.
then Monday, and those they were part of satellites, and
Hmm.
that was incredible. So I had the maestros, and so they could always, oh, keep your timing, do this, boy, So I got some excellent coaches during
Yes.
that time there, in playing music.
Okay,
Uh,
so so you came out of a musical environment,
yeah,
uh, pretty much a musical home, and you started earlier with Byron Lee and Byron Lee and the Dragon Inner Circles and Byron Lee and the Dragoneers,
yes,
and then move on to Third World,
yes,
so to speak, and of course all you Woolmerians out there, big up.
yeah. By the way, I started 1 year in Meadowbrook, and then
Oh,
went on to Wilmot. So
okay, all right.
that's where I met my wife, who I'm still
Okay.
married to, 51 years,
Oh
Carol.
my God!
Big up to her.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
sir.
So that's
Congratulations.
the reason I had to make sure I go past Meadowbrook to find my wife. And then after I found her, I saw her and I looked at her and said, "Yes, you're
Yeah.
going to be my wife." I said that at the age of 12, and I left the school. I'm gone. And I never
Yeah.
see her till 5 years later.
Wow.
We got married. So that's the story. So in Wilmers, yes, we would play with people like Richard Gray, who knows from Wilmers, Paul Thorburn,
Yeah.
Carl Brady brother, Philip Brady.
Hmm.
They were incredible, and it was a great. Colin Leslie were really enthusiastic. We used to have to play for schools, girls' schools. It was
Yeah.
sweet because you could play for Wilmers next door. You could go to Alpha. So we
Yes,
played
of
for all
course.
the girls' schools,
Of
but we
course.
had one thing that Mr. Bogle, who was headmaster, told us that if we were going to play music, we had to be respectful, and we have
Mhm.
to make sure that we bring money for the library. So
Okay.
any money we made, so we got to start to play with the Matalons, the McNeils, we played
Yes.
Dr. Monte. We started to get popular, and we really got money for the library. We put money into the library, because we
Yeah.
needed one at Ulmer's at that time.
Yes, indeed. So, folks, if you have just joined me this evening, we are speaking with Mr. Willie Stewart, OD, Order of Distinction, and he is one of the original members of the international known group Third World. And if you grew up in our times, everybody know Third World. Back in the 70s and 80s when I was in my ADs or coming through my ADs, I would jam out to a Third World every now and then. Try Jah Love, Reggae Ambassador, 96 Degrees, all of those. Oh my God, Third World was such a classic act. And I'm glad to have you here with us today, Willie. Tell me about the role that the drummer plays in the band. Tell me
It's
about
funny, it's funny you say that, because for a long time I would consider and say, you're playing the drums and you're part of a band.
yes,
And I say that, but
yeah,
what really comes up is that there's a lot of jokes about drummers. Well, them deaf, them tone deaf, them is this. But without a good drummer,
that's right.
you can't have a good band.
Hmm.
It's impossible, because the band will go up, and the timing, your
Hmm.
heart is on a pulse. So the
Yes.
drummer could be one of the main things. When you see the orchestra man conducting the orchestra in the band,
Hmm.
real and truly, the conductor is a drummer.
Yes.
Because anything to about, if a role has to happen, it means,
Hmm.
let's put this. You see, I'm gonna make it simpler. When you're at a traffic light, and
Yeah.
the police is directing traffic,
Hmm.
well, that's the traffic conduct, the policeman who's really conducting traffic,
Hmm.
that is the drummer. Because if a role has to happen or
Hmm.
something, anytime he does something, it's to bring in something and keep the
Oh.
music lively. So when he does a
Oh.
roll at the end of a verse or whatever, he's signaling. So people know, okay,
Mm.
he start the band. It's a
Okay.
heartbeat. That is what
Yes.
is so important. I also, over the years, decide what was the importance of a drummer.
Hmm.
If you understand, when you're playing music,
Hmm.
in one time, the drummer's playing 4 situations on the drum one time. He's
Hmm.
playing the hi-hat
Hmm.
to the right. He's playing the
Okay.
snare drum. He's
Hmm.
playing the bass drum. So on the one tape that is being recorded and he's
Hmm.
rolling, he's
Hmm.
playing 4. It's more than 4 tracks, but he's playing 4 things at one time during all that track. It's like he's running.
Yeah.
You're running through all of that track continuously.
Hmm.
You're hearing the high end, you're hearing the snare drum, you're hearing the tom toms, you're hearing him breathe.
Hmm.
So it's a little different when you're playing instrument, because you're playing physically.
Okay.
So you have to keep up that rhythm, that timing. You have to
Mm.
keep up. So you are the life force of it,
Yes. The art
in a
beat.
sense. But everybody's important.
Yeah.
Everybody have a role.
Yeah.
But if you start slow down, like
Hmm.
even now that we found love, when we're playing that now that we found love, the people
Hmm.
have to dance. You have to pump them. If they're not going to want to dance. Nowadays, people put on machine. There's
Yeah.
bam, 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 the machine can play any speed.
Hmm.
But the drummer have to play that. That's live. So
Yes.
that's live input.
Hmm.
So the drummer role is very, very important. And I start saying, and I say, there's different drummers. And I said, what was the contribution to Third World? And when I thought about it, I said, what happened? You contributed and create a sound.
Hmm.
When I listen to Carlton Barrett from Bob
Hmm.
Marley, when he rolls, it's
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
unique to the sound of that band. When it's the Sly and Robbie and them sister, you can hear it. When you hear Mikey Richards, you can hear
Hmm.
everybody, all the drummers. When you hear Lloyd Nibbs with Scatterlights, it's him. So in our time, when you hear Third World in that era,
Hmm.
you know is Willie Stewart on drums.
Yes. Yes.
And this is
And
not boasting or anything. It's just
no,
a
no,
fact.
no. It's a fact. It's
Sound was like it's a brand, and
right.
that sound, the 6 man them with Bunny Rock's voice, Cat on guitar, Richie on bass, Ibu on keyboards, Carrot on percussions. When we came together, there
Hmm.
was a sound that cannot be created again on record
That's correct. Wow.
like that.
Wow. Mm.
Don't get me wrong. There's a new Third World. They're great musicians, but
Hmm.
they're writing their own history right now,
Hmm. Hmm.
because they're still playing the old records,
That's right.
which will always live on.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Timeless.
people, new people who see them will say, "Whoa, it's the songs that is creating them for them to continue." They now must bridge the gap and move on and carry it higher. But
Yes.
when it was there with the 6 man, God bless us, three is here now and three has gone, passed on.
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
know,
All right. Wow. Wow. Not only are you a great musician, but let's speak a little bit about the work that you do as a humanitarian.
well, what happened is that after playing all over the world with Third World,
Hmm.
something came to me that everybody would love to play music and stay on that vibe.
Hmm.
But there's a time you start to be a boy, you become a teenager, you become a man, then you get a little older, you become a father,
Hmm.
become a grandfather.
Hmm.
During those times, there must be a time when, as you get older, that you pass on some information to the youth.
Yes.
You can't have all this talent if you get it and keep it.
Hmm.
You're supposed to pass it, and this is where you get blessing. You don't get blessing by passing on this and that, but by passing on what you know
Yes, sir.
and to help others to better. And also, as a teacher, you you give, but you respect the God-given creativity in each human being. Now,
Wow.
when it comes to music,
Hmm.
and I had a chance to teach for 12 years drum set to students,
Hmm.
and I'd be respectful of their natural creativity
Hmm.
because somebody never lead. Some of the best drummers in the world today are gospel drummers.
Yes. Hmm.
They never learn one beat. And
Hmm.
we have some musicians that go to Berkeley and study night and day.
Hmm.
And these musicians who are gospel musicians, some of them can't even read one note,
Hmm.
but the instinct of the God creativity within them
Hmm.
is much higher than the paper
Wow.
because that God gift they give them. You could have studied from now till the feel, that fingerprint
Yeah.
that hits you.
Yeah.
You can feel no pain.
You
So
know.
to me,
Hmm.
we have to, when you're teaching,
Hmm.
you can't say, well, it's all paper.
Yeah.
Yes, reading music help you
Yes.
because when I was younger, they asked you to play back something. You can say, how can I play back? This is in improvisation. You can't play it back. But if you're teaching, you can have that so you can know what you want to improve. So
Yeah.
what is happening that you're a runner, just like Usain Bolt, you
Yes.
practice, but when it comes to the, you're ready. You can't be looking and say, well, you're playing and it's, let me hit this 16th note here. Let me just,
No,
if you,
that's so naturally.
you do that, everything. Listen, one thing with music,
Yeah.
if you miss that second, it
My
ain't coming
gosh.
back. It's
Yeah.
right there. So
Mm.
you can't be there playing and say, "Why I wonder what we have hamburger." By the time you say, "Why I wonder," boom, the music gonna leave you. And as a drummer, you have to be on the one all the time. You have
Time.
to be thinking ahead.
Hmm.
Because if you ever take off your thing, people say, "Do you see me on stage?" I don't see nobody. I'm into the music there. I'm
Wow.
into the. I don't see nobody. The
Yeah.
only thing I see and hear is my music. I'm only seeing and visualizing what I am doing because the concentration has to be there. You have to have that span to stay with it. You
Yes.
can't be guessing. So that's what music. So what happened is that you asked about my. I kind of stray away from it, but you asked about what
All right.
giving back to our youth is so
Yes.
important because today,
Hmm.
as you know, that I had a God has blessed me to be able to teach in all different to from elementary,
Hmm.
kindergarten, go right up to university.
Hmm.
I see at my age the
Hmm.
problems that our youth having.
Hmm.
The internet, the whole digital world has changed the world drastically,
Hmm.
with good and with bad.
Hmm.
And so we're not communicating anymore. So the attention span of some of our kids is not there
Hmm.
because a lot of our youth want instant gratification.
Hmm.
In my days, the older people would talk to you. You know, in Jamaica, if you do something good, you
Hmm.
get cake, you getting food, you getting yam from one road, come back. If you do something bad, you'll get a beating from up there, come right down.
Right.
Today,
That's
today,
correct.
so to them say take a village to grow up to grow.
Yes.
to grow a child. Today,
Mhm.
that don't matter. You do something, nobody know you. They're not business with you. So we are not a community helping our children.
Mhm.
It's like they're left there,
Yeah.
and so they're into the world. But my thing is to say to us older people, don't give up on them,
Yeah.
because I go there and deal with it. But from you show them, like through our Rhythms of Africa program, you take
Mhm.
some children from you play and get them to start playing. You get a
Mhm.
different type of individual.
Mhm.
You get a different, and this is what helped them. And the love that you give them, keep them growing. So it's so important.
Wow, wow. Yes, it's so important, that we look at the human side of things, and realize that the role that we are have been given to enhance the human side of things. And just like you were saying, you have to be gifted in that area. It's a gifting. There are many talented people, folks that are not gifted people, but when you're gifted, it just flows naturally, it just
Yeah,
rolls off. So we
yeah,
have to give back. As a humanitarian, I see that you have achieved and have been awarded many exemplary awards, from the Peace Medal
yes,
to a CP Image Awards,
yes,
a Diamond Award from Washington, and a numerous amount of awards that
yes.
that you have been bestowed. And of course, the Jamaica Diaspora Honor, 2012, and so forth like that. So, uh, uh, when you are invested in the work that you've been called to do, and when you do it at a level that it not only benefits the industry, but then benefits those around you, then your recognition will come.
Well, that's definite. And to me, Earth Awards is good,
Yes.
but the most important award to me is the award that you did something.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
greatest thing that you did something.
Hmm.
And when my rewards happen to me is when I see
Hmm.
a child that you have taught, like this little youth, I tell you, or
Yes.
one I taught a drummer from he
Hmm.
was 7 and he won world championship.
Hmm.
Or you see the kids that we work with and they go on stage and you see them start to laugh
Hmm.
and they feel good about themselves and the audience clap them. To
Hmm.
me, that is when my heart feel good, because to me it means that the work that you're doing is making a difference. Is
Yes.
making a difference to the youth, and that is how I think your name lives on. Third
Yes.
World. Some of those accolades you call, it was when I was with Third World, so we got them as a group. But
Yes.
then when you do that, that's one thing. But when you walk out and you leave that,
Hmm.
and you're going to have to do more stuff.
Hmm.
That's when the true test comes, because no one knows. No one is like, by your passion or what you love.
Hmm.
That's what will help you to move forward in life. You know.
Hmm. Okay.
So that is what's very important. So to me, once you love what you do, you
Hmm.
can make a difference, because children know the difference. When you teach them, when you go to them, they can know from instinctively whether you are sincere or not sincere.
Okay. Wow. That is so good. So good to have you here with us on Jamaican Explosion today. And let the folks know that the YouTube link is there, and they can log on if they want to send a chat to you. The YouTube link, and just say hello, Willie, how you doing, or so forth like that. And even if they have a question to pose in the chat overlay is on, so they could chat with us too. Help us chat. Let's ask Willie some question here. So don't be afraid to hit on onto the chat overlay. For those that you have that have just joined us today, I'm here with Willie Stewart, drummer, percussionist, songwriter, instructor, facilitator, music director from the infamous, not well, infamous, but the famous band, famous band, the famous band, Third World. So, what was it like on those tours back in the 80s?
It was it. There's no words can express what it was like, because remember, Bob was out there. You had Peter Tosh out there.
Mm-hmm.
You had Jimmy Cliff out there, which is still Jimmy Cliff still out there.
Yeah.
You had Burning Spear, which is Give Gang Steam still out there,
Mm-hmm.
and there was new territory to it, because when we started in the band started in 1973. I came into the band at the end of 1975.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I had to tour the whole of Europe. I had to tour the album called Third World, which was the first album. I didn't play on that. But
Mm-hmm.
Connor Marshall played that. But I
Mm-hmm.
had to promote it in America. So
Mm-hmm.
that we were the group that went. And then after that, when I came back, then Bonnie Clark came in the band. And
Wow.
that's when we started to record 96 and all the ones that you know forward from there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a beautiful feel. Playing, we had to be able, we were pioneers. We
Mm-hmm.
had to play, and when they did the album, in fact, a lot of people don't realize that even before I was in the band,
Mm-hmm.
Third World, with Bob Marley playing No Woman a Cry, that live version of No Woman a Cry,
Right. Uh-huh.
Third World opened 5
Mm-hmm.
shows for Bob in England.
Mm-hmm.
They were the opening band, including that night when they recorded No Woman a Cry.
Wow.
Can you believe that? Yeah. And then that island signed them. And then when they
Mm-hmm.
came back to Jamaica, Carnell left the band. And then it was Christmas. It was Christmas, during that week of Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
I joined the band of 1975. And then my first show was New Year's Eve night in Baskerville at Playboy Club. That was my first engagement. And then within about, I said, 5 weeks, we were on tour in
Mm-hmm.
America. We spent 7 months. We lived in San Francisco for about 5, 6 months, and we toured all over. It was hard, because you had to rough it. You have to drive in one vehicle, you're moving in, and you go through late nights, you have to move through. But everybody has to pay dues. But
Mm-hmm.
it grew better as you play more, and as because we love playing, and then it developed. I mean, playing concerts like as I said, with Stevie Wonder
Mm-hmm.
when Bob Marley died. We played at is it Jarrett Park, Montego Bay, Jarrett Park? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Jarrett Park in Montego Bay, when
Mm-hmm.
we played it for Sunsplash. That was an incredible concert, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so many concerts. I mean, traveling around the world, playing in Japan. Our first visit to Japan, and we had "Tried Your Love." Even Stevie Wonder had to play that song. Stevie Wonder wrote that song for us. When he
Yeah.
got to Japan, he has to play it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's nothing like it. And this is why, even when I do Rhythms of Africa, doing
Mm-hmm.
with the musicians and doing that concert, I wanted to give the students a taste of what to be a musician just for once in their life. If they don't, but just for once to feel that how it feels to be a musician. There's
All
nothing
right.
like it in the world. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing like it when you're playing and the people coming in and everybody together harmonizing.
Mm-hmm.
It is beauty. It's beautiful to the soul.
Right, right. Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. So who would you say what is or was the most interesting person that you performed with?
Whoa, that's a hard question. There's so much people. Getting to know Stevie Wonder, that was unbelievable. Him, because we went and did when we did Try Your Love, we did in the studios in Los Angeles in his studio,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really something else. Yeah, his studio was unbelievable,
Mm-hmm.
and just him as a person.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. When we decided to do this concert, we said, okay. When we decided, we played Sunsplash, and he said to us that he's going to write a song for us. But
Mm-hmm.
we say, yeah, man, all is good.
Mm-hmm.
But we really never expect the big Stevie Wonder, so busy,
Mm-hmm.
would really come up with it.
Right,
So
right,
it,
right.
it so happened that within 3 weeks after that concert, or 2 weeks, we are going to
Yes.
play in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl, and
Okay.
we were opening up the show, and
Mm-hmm.
he was there to open up the show. So he came on with us. I said, these are our brothers. There was about 30,000-40,000 people at the show,
Mm-hmm.
and then he played. And then after, he says, Willie, I have a song for you. I said, what? And we were getting ready to tour America, because we did Rock the World album. We had the number 9 song in England, Dancing on the Floor. And we had the whole tour set up. And I tell many people about this, we had to lock that tour down to record with the great Stevie Wonder. And that took 3 months. We stayed, we had to live in Los Angeles and then
Mhm.
start to record.
Mhm.
And so when we start now, the man calls me, with Stevie, true Stevie, he can't see.
Mhm.
So to him, there's no time. So
Mhm.
at 5 o'clock in the morning, Stevie called me and said, "You ready to go studio?"
Mhm.
I start think about and say, can you imagine Bonnie Clark in the morning and kept me? I tell him 5 o'clock in the morning for go studio. I said, Stevie, I don't think so. I think we have to go wait a little bit more, man. Let's wait till about 6 o'clock in
O'clock.
the evening so we can go. No, wake up him. So okay, no problem. So it was the show. But he taught me one important thing. He says that
Mm.
no matter what, if it's a hum, if it's a lyric, if it's a sound, put
Mm.
it, because he said like that's like contributing to a bank. You're paying in because you don't know when you might need it to create something. When you're writing a lyric or you're writing something,
Mm.
put it down. If you write, keep on make a record of it.
Mhm.
When I say record, I put it down in writing so you can use it for something down the line, because this is like a deposit into a bank that
Mhm.
might not yield now, but later on you might need it that can help you move forward. And he said
Wow.
something else when he came to Jamaica and he met with us, with me and Ibu at the time. And he came to my house. I was at Red Hills. And he
Mhm.
listened to all the third world songs. Said they're great. But he says sometimes leave the grit in it. In other words, if you're playing something and someone shout or you hear a little noise, yes, you touch
Yes,
it,
yes,
but
yes.
leave it in, because that help make up the human part of the music.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That,
So I
that,
would say he was a big influence there.
PC.
Eddie Grant, another great musician, I think was a
Mm.
very influential, because in
Yeah,
the in 2000 I went and played with him. I'd left the band by then, and we
yeah,
had to do a big show called Ring Bang
yeah.
in yeah, man, in Tobago. That was
Mhm.
very. I think that he was very influential there. And my drum teacher called Billy Moore.
Okay.
I think because when he's, I didn't read music. I had played naturally with 96, and now that we found love, I just played natural and thing. But there were things that I wanted to play. I didn't know how to play it. And because you're on the world stage at that time, it's not easy to go to Jamaica and say, "Wait, you teach me this," you know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
you have to. So I got a teacher. I went and got a teacher from abroad to study with, Billy Moore, who he taught like Earth, Wind and Fire drummer, all them great drummers that he was. So when he come to listen to me, he said, "Boy, you can play okay. If say you
Mhm.
play good, what you want to learn." But when he went on drums and did jazz and Latin, I said, "I want to learn that. That's what I
Mhm.
want." And he said, "Leave your ego at home." And so while I was at Stevie Wonder, in the night training, I was going 7 o'clock in the morning to drum classes. That was for 3 years to get my
Mhm.
certificate in snare drum and thing. And so,
Mhm.
but he looked at me, he looked and said, and this was very profound to me. He looked at me and says, Willie, everything is great with you with Third World. But suppose something happened to you, you have an accident tomorrow. What are you going to do?
Mhm.
Suppose the band don't work out. What are you going to do?
Mhm.
So if music what you love, try and immerse yourself with all of the important things of music. So if
Mhm.
you're going to teach, you
Mhm.
need to read, you need to do certain things, get in courses, do this. So
Mhm.
I was studying while I was playing, traveling all over I'm there studying all
Mhm.
the notations, going through and practicing. It
Mhm.
was a lot, but to do it, and I would have to go back to LA to get marked so I could get it, and so forth. It's like it's all my future. That's what I ended up doing, and that also helped me to study in England to be a music. When I left in 1997, I went to England to study for 2 years to be a music facilitator, which that makes me do all of the courses and programs that I do now that enable me to do that.
Wow. 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 Mm. That is great. That is great. We're just enjoying uh uh the interview today. All of this information here coming from you, Willie. You're a walking encyclopedia when it comes to the to the knowledge and the experience, And how has the music changed over the decades, so to speak? Let's get just an idea of how you feel about the music, particularly speaking about the reggae music.
I think that well, you have to address the reggae music along with the times,
Okay, got
because
you.
if we find out where the music come from, we know that
Hmm.
it came from mental, as we know.
Hmm.
Started with mental, then it moved to ska,
Hmm.
then we know it went to rock steady,
Hmm.
reggae,
Hmm.
revivalism in there too, and then dancehall. and
Mm-hmm.
now it's gone to trap beats and
Mm-hmm.
many more other stuff has moved in between.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the development of music, I mean, we started with two tracks with Harold Belafonte, who sold 1 million records. That was on two tracks. I mean, two mics, and this is the quality. I mean, yes, it's not
Wow.
refined as no, but it's good, and it's important that technology move forward.
Uh-huh.
But what happened is that there was in the 70s, growing up in there was a kind of well, how can I put it? There was a sense of purpose where people were writing with a passion
Mm-hmm.
of and feelings and
Mm-hmm.
upliftment. We always had a different variety of music,
Mm-hmm.
but there was all in Manley's time. I think there was more concept lyrics of
Mm-hmm.
searching for ourselves and things of moving forward,
Mm-hmm.
and lyrics that was conscious,
Yes.
lyrics that was that you could dance, but it was songs were written
Mm-hmm.
in a format of self searching at the same time, but had the soul in it.
Mm-hmm.
That is why we go back to way back to those soul songs, you know.
That's good. Mm-hmm.
Important because the voice and the analog, and that's why I
Yeah.
say you have to address
Mm-hmm.
everything with the music, because with analog, the music, digital is very sharp.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember when they started to digitize the music and you listen to it and you
Yeah.
turn it on, all of a sudden you turn on the thing and all of a sudden the music come out from nowhere digital. It come right at you. You're frightened. You nearly get a heart attack. And when you do analog and you make it louder, it don't distort. It,
Mm-hmm.
it it's just nice. So that helped to change the whole technology of stuff. Plus, so what I found in the early days, I think from a point of analog and music, there was a kind of soul within it. You heard the voice.
Yes.
There
Yeah.
was a more. It was more, and the drums. The
Mm-hmm.
whole thing was different. Now, and I'm not fighting it. It's good. It has its place. But
Mm-hmm.
right now, you can't tell the difference nearly
Mm-hmm.
what is digital and what is human.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because now, if you can sample someone that sound like Bob Marley, write
Right.
a song, and if
Yeah.
you don't mind sharp, it's a boy sound like him. It's like the signature change,
Yes. Yes.
and
Yes.
you find more people are going to live concerts. Why? When you
Mm-hmm.
listen to something live,
Yes.
it's in church. You know that as a thing. It
Yeah.
does something right there.
Right.
The human communication is
Mm-hmm.
right there. Now there's things on you can have
AI. AI.
vocal enhancers that
Mm-hmm.
have this alien sound.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you're cutting out the real thing. That's why people want to go back to they can hear the drums. You hear there's
Yeah.
nothing like live music. There's not
Original
like when
drum.
you hear and you see the concert and you see the musicians that
That's
work
right.
for you,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
It does something for you. It evokes energy. You can pass and you feel it. It gives you
Mm-hmm.
that energy, you know?
Okay, so Willie, I'm going to touch on a little bit piece more of one of the ones from the back, one of the rhythms of Africa performances from back in the back from back
Yes.
the days, and let's talk about it a little bit.
Music is a universal language. It transcends everything, maybe except love. And drumming is such an integral part of the music. It has allowed me to see the interaction that Willie has with the kids. And like I said before, it's tremendous. He's not only a gifted drummer, he's a gifted tutor.
We are thrilled to be a part of this production this evening. Willie Stewart is a longtime member of the Chamber of Commerce, so there's a direct correlation between the arts community and what businesses do for the arts, and we can't separate the two. Our communities need both.
I wanted to get to do to inspire some kids, inspire the children and also make them experience what is it to do a full length concert, what is it to play professional sound, excellent lights, but musicians of the heart. So the musicians will inspire the children, the musicians will be inspired by the kids, and the audience will be mesmerized.
Yes, sir. So
But you must remember that show is like from 2010.
yeah, yeah.
We could have played one of the show from the news shows where let's see, where we're going. It's
Okay,
great because that was where we started.
that's where you
But
started, right?
the one there's one that I said on YouTube too, which was like with Julian Marley, which was last
Mhm.
year, and this year is this year is that and you have Graham Morgan and some of them. This
Yes,
is
yes.
where you see the band. When you see the whole thing, is a whole it grew,
Okay.
it grew tremendously to what we do now. It's like it's. But that was the first. That's great because we were dealing with we were experimenting and we got some little kids,
Mhm.
elementary kids,
Yes.
and so we had to move, and then from there we started to move and everything. And now West Africa is a whole different thing from there.
Well, as we said, Willie, I can't just do one show with you. I have to do more than one show, for us to. It's just to really get those my audience introduction. This is only an introduction to you.
Right, right.
So, we're gonna have you back at another time where we'll go into the more modern shows with that's and the progression of the mission
Of Embrace Music Foundation, my
music
non-profit.
foundation. Right. And why do you put this on particular? Is there for a special purpose, or it's just mhm.
No, no, the whole thing of Embrace Music Foundation is to keep music in schools because we
Okay.
believe that to balance our kids, like I've done 12 of them, 12
Mhm.
years we've done, and it's to give back,
Mhm.
it's to keep live music one,
Right,
and it's to
exactly.
also keep music, keeps the arts in school, not only
It's right.
music, art, painting, everything, because we believe that a whole child must be balanced. So
Yes.
when we get our students here, they don't pay for it. We train them for 30 hours. They get to play on a show with great musicians like Julian Marley, Graham
Mhm.
Morgan,
Mhm.
Master Griffiths.
Okay.
We had Alison Hines
Mhm.
last 3 weeks ago, a
Mhm.
month ago. And so this is what our mission is to keep them, and also hoping that some of them will continue to music. But even if they don't, to have that experience, I teach them discipline. It brings them together. It brings some of those kids who are not so, they're not so.
Mhm.
Sometimes they're very introvert. They don't speak.
Yes,
But
yes,
for
yeah.
them to come out, because we did many. We used to do 60 kids at one time.
Mhm.
When we did like Miami and things like that. But now we're doing like 30, 35 kids and thing. And each one of them have to write back feedback. And I've never had a bad feedback from it. From the audience, when they play that, the audience can see a show. 'Cause
Mhm.
we're trying to do shows where it's conscious music, it's great music showing the history from Africa to
Right.
Caribbean to Americas. It's just showing a whole lot journey. And it has its own reputation. So that is it. To give both culturally, spiritually, and to give people that energy and
Yes.
yeah, excellent show and say wow and bring back families.
Okay, that's great. That's great. That is so great. And you know, uh it's so needed. But is that the rhythm of Africa? That is that a show that you move around from state to state, or just
Not
primarily?
yet. We're beginning. We're hoping for next year to, but this has been done most at well, we've been doing it. We've done around Florida.
Yes.
We've done like Pembroke Pines. We've done Miami, but
Hmm.
we tend to stick with Miramar because the mayor there, Mayor Wayne
Yes.
Besson, is very committed
Yes.
towards. So every year we do it there for the last 4 years. We've been doing it, and we're doing it again next year because and that's where we started. That show you saw
Yes.
in 2010, we started there. It's like
Right.
that's our home to
Mhm.
incubate everything. But we're ready to tour international. We're ready because we could play any one of those 12 shows, and people would love it.
Yes.
So each year we have to change the whole. Like last year, we had "Love Will Always Be There."
Hmm.
I call it "Love Will Always Be There" because we named East Rhythms Africa a theme,
Hmm.
and then I celebrated Thorough's 50 years
Hmm.
and our Rhythms Africa 10 years at the time.
Yes.
and it was beautiful. And this year gone, 5 weeks ago, we celebrate Strength of a Woman, because we wanted to show the teenagers and some of the young males and everything. I say, the women is very important, and we
Yes.
always tend to underestimate them in a lot of ways. And we know how history. So we showed our icons of women, like from Miriam Makeba,
Wow.
Nina Simone. All of
Mhm,
them come right through. Aretha Franklin.
mhm,
All of them go right up to Jamaica, to
mhm,
Master Griffiths, to all different, that we thought it was icons who
mhm,
fought certain things and showed the importance. So the whole journey of that concert showed the up and down what women had to go through.
mhm.
It was excellent, and also the men who sang had to be able to sing songs that would give praises to the women as they were, and also uplift them.
Yes. Yeah. So you're doing a great work, and the reason why I asked the question is because I would love to see that caliber show come through Georgia, come through Atlanta.
But
Uh,
don't talk so loud. You never know. You never know.
yeah. Well,
I'll
yeah,
call you first thing. But we look at
yes.
there's offers. But you see,
Call me
what
first thing, He
I
called
will
me
call you
first
first thing,
thing.
because what happened is that it's so big. If
Yes.
you look at Rhythms of Africa, we're talking about 40. So
Yeah.
you're training 25 kids. That's 25 on one side of the stage. On the same stage, you
Yes.
have another 30 musicians. Then
Right.
you have the artists that come and go. Then you have dancers.
Yes.
So we're looking at a 50 member
Wow.
orchestra, in
Wow.
sense of the kids and everything. And as somebody said, there's nothing like it. Once
Yes.
you come, everybody come, them have to come back,
Yeah.
because they enjoy themselves so much, and the concert tends to be this, they get a lot for their money. They get a lot. I've never had anybody leave and say, "Boy, they didn't like the concert." They love it. They say, "Wow, where's this been secret been?" And when they come, they feel fulfilled and
Yes.
energized.
Yeah, yes, Willie, you're doing an excellent job, and a show of that caliber is needed here, and no later than next year, Willie. Come on, man, go bring it
Well,
more.
well, I'm working on something, and
Yeah,
also what we
yeah.
can
Mm-hmm.
the most important thing right now for
Yes,
me
sir.
is
Mm-hmm.
that it is not we one. Is
Mm-hmm.
it? I must give it's a team of
It's a
us,
team.
my
That's right.
family and
Yeah.
key people. Is
Mhm.
we, not me.
Yes, it's
I
we.
have the ideas that come through, but we know the God is at the helm. But it's to move
That's
and
right.
such a thing is a
Yeah.
teamwork of many, from the
Yeah.
musicians to everybody that come, is a
Yeah.
team of many, and I give thanks for that, because without them, boy, believe me, it's too big to be able to move from there.
Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. As I said, I knew that we weren't going to be able to cover everything today, but
Correct.
it's a good introduction to you, and we covered quite a bit of information today. Yes, it's about third world, but it's about Willie, who's Willie, who's Willie, and you come across genuinely as a person that love people, you love what you're doing, your giftings are, you're just gifted in what God has gifted you with. And also, do you have a special humanitarian feel about you? So we are just glad to have you. Sometimes you get caliber artists who have had a certain amount of success. Let me put it this way, and the success blocks them from communicating on a level. If you understand what I'm saying,
Of
uh,
course.
they use that. You know what I'm saying. But you are just free and open and with all the knowledge. You know.
Listen. Who are we?
Yeah,
Pastor, who are we? We're
that's
nothing.
right.
We're a grain of salt. And this
Mm,
is what is important to musicians have to know.
mhm,
And I think it goes like this:
mm.
those who sing, because it's so near to them singing,
Yes.
then believe that is them.
Mhm.
Once you believe that, you're going down.
Yes. Yes, sir.
If you play instrument, you can say, "Boy, it's an instrument," or you're playing drums, and it's not about from the mouth and your head.
Yeah.
It is really tempting to say, "Well, I'm me, I'm
Yeah.
me do this." Listen, for every breath we breathe, it's not we, it's God.
Yeah.
So to me, He can take that gift from you tomorrow morning.
Yes.
And for you to be able to, if you can go and you go humbly in what you do, then
Yes.
that's it. That's the greatest thing. So we are nothing. All of this is, if you come to do a mission, you do it. And the most important thing is, when you come as a child, can
Yes.
you leave back intact with your soul?
Mm-hmm.
That is the most important. Can you leave with the integrity, or
Yes.
do you not leave with integrity? Earth is a test. Is
Right.
a test. Is a test. And I think what happened is that all of these things, the more popular you are, you think people shouting, hey, tomorrow morning, anytime, there's a time for everything. That's
Right.
what the most important thing I said to musicians. You're
Mm-hmm.
out there today.
Mm-hmm.
If you get money
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, do things that are wise. Do things to give back. You
Yeah.
can be a star, what you
Mm-hmm.
might think, but there's a time when you have to give back. You have to play it forward. And when
Yes.
you do that, there's no greater reward than that, because the kids will give you energy. No matter how old you are, once you're communicating with the kids, somehow it does more for you than you can ever believe. So
Yes.
it's so important. And listen to them.
Yes.
So it's important that we don't say, because hey, listen, you only can drive one car. You
Yeah.
only can eat one thing at a time. No matter how much you have, share.
Okay.
We have to share. Give back. Talk to people. Spend
Yes.
time. Money is nothing,
All
but
right.
your time is everything, because you have a limited time. No, I might not be here tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So your time is what's important. So what you give your time to is
Mm-hmm.
very important.
Mm-hmm. Wow, 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 Willie. You just laid some heavy stuff on us.
Well, I didn't mean to get too heavy, but I was just
Yeah,
relating to,
yeah, I understand.
I was just relating to the importance of, especially in the music business. A lot of things will go up and say you're this or that, you're important.
Mm,
Listen, there's no importance in it. Yes,
mm,
people will, because it's like, the
mm.
simple way of explaining it is that there's a glass. The
Yes.
orange juice tastes nice,
Hmm.
but we're the glass. We're just the messengers. It
Yeah.
just passes us, and we learn from it. You have to, there's a change between the artist and the artistry. It's
Hmm.
two different things. You
Right.
could be playing music and with a meaning, but
Yeah.
if you don't learn it, it don't mean nothing. You still have to
Mhm.
learn from it.
That's
So
right.
what coming through you, if it's of that of God, then we all learn from it. And you don't know how long you're going to be there with it. So we have to humble ourselves. We must humble ourselves. Tomorrow morning, what you are, this, and that, it means nothing.
Right. Well, Willie, thanks for stopping by here and
Right.
just sharing the last hour with us. And it's your first time here. But we will get a lot more clippage and so forth when you come back on the second go around. And we want to explore deeper, deeper the mission of Embrace Music Foundation. I think I'm going to help to champion that cause of bringing the rhythms of Africa into the Atlanta area. I'm going to help to champion that cause. Okay, sir?
And definitely, thank you so much, Pastor Rob, and continue doing the great work that you're doing. And thank you to Atlanta, to the people there, and your listeners. I ask God to bless them. One love to each one of them. And please, Bob Marley movie. Let's please let us look at it. It's really a nice movie. And
Yeah,
there's a lot of people have saying, but listen,
yeah,
you can't put Bob Marley and tell
yeah.
the whole story in one. It have to be episodes, episodes, and episodes.
So it's right, right.
Yeah.
And likewise, someone like yourself, we it has to be episodes and episodes, and we have
Well, third
episodes.
world alone is episodes. That's
That's
that,
right.
because there's so much angles of them,
Yeah,
and things
yeah,
like that. But so
yeah.
give thanks, and thank you for having me on your program, and blessings to everybody, and thank you so much, sir. I
It was
wish
a
you all
pleasure.
God's love
Yeah.
and blessings.
It was a pleasure. It was our honor. And next time we have you back on, we'll have the co-host, Miss Nadine Dixon, with us, and I'm sure we're going to be diving a little deeper into
Right, right.
Willie Stewart. Okay.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Blessings now, and we'll
Yes, ma'am.
we'll be in touch. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Very good. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. This is Pastor Rob here, and this is a Jamaican Explosion. And it's approximately 4 minutes after 6 o'clock on this Saturday evening. I know a lot of folks are on their way to the Sugarcane concert, which is just getting started down there in Stone Mountain. And but it's a beautiful evening. So if you're out and about, just go on and turn that cell phone on, and we are on Facebook, or get into YouTube, and you could pick us up there. Okay, so wow, I've got two important gentlemen waiting here to speak to me, and I believe Mr. Jason, you are on at 5:30, and I have Mr. Everton Christie. You are on from 5 to 5:30. Okay, today. Okay, so Jason, I know that you're here, Jason, and I'm gonna say hi to Jason. Hey, Jason, how you doing? How you doing, Jason?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed and highly favored, man. Thank you, brother.
Yeah,
How you
yeah.
doing?
That's good. We're gonna have Jason back at 5:30, as we're
Okay.
gonna speak to some men this evening. We're gonna
Yeah,
speak to some men this evening. But
absolutely.
until we have Jason come back at 5:30, I have got Mr. Everton Christie, and he's gonna speak to us about some financial things that we need to get straight in our lives. Okay, Jason, hold tight, as they
Okay.
say in Jamaican language.
All
Okay,
right,
all
boss.
right, very good.
All right.
All right. Okay. And without further ado, let me bring to Mr. Everton Christie to the screens. How are you, Mr. Everton? Have you turned your microphone on? You're going to turn your microphone on. When you log in, there's a little thing that says turn your microphone on. So, okay. So, when you log in, so we're gonna get Everton Christie all straight, and then we'll bring him back to the stages here. Okay, all right. But you're into to Jamaican Explosion on Saturday evening, 6:06, and we just had a beautiful interview with none other than Mr. Willie Stewart from the original Third World member. Wow. And he just laid out uh, just a whole lot of information for us about Third World, about the music industry, and about the mission of Embrace Music Foundation, Rhythm of Africa Music Around the World program that they have down there in Florida. Okay, so I'm waiting for Mr. Everton to turn his mic on, and usually your mic's turned on when you log into the program. It says turn your audio on. So we're gonna wait until make sure that he has done that, and then we'll bring him back on our screens today. Okay, wow, wow, it's just been a beautiful evening. I don't know. Let's try him again. Everton, no. You might want to log off and come back in, and you will see a thing that says turn audio on. Hit that. So log off. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Ah. Okay. So let me see whether or not you hit that. Okay. Uh, no. No audio from you. I'm hearing. I'm hearing some echoes now. Yeah. So we have a little challenge here with Mr. Christie's audio. Uh, just need for him to get the audio straight, and then we'll come back here. We might just go to Mr. Pendergrass, and then we'll come back to Willie at the 6:30 hour. Mr. Christie at the 6:30 hour. So we'll see if Mr. Prendergrass is available to come uh, on the show today or earlier. Okay, so let me see. We're gonna switch it around right here, and bring back Doctor. So Doctor, how are you?
Yes, I'm back, waiting patiently. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
so your mic's not coming up either to now.
Oh, okay. Um,
Okay. Hmm.
You heard me before though. Well, you can't hear me now, I guess,
Oh,
right?
okay. Here we go.
Hear
Here
me
we
now? Oh, there we go.
Here we
I'm
go. Okay.
about
So
to say was
Mr. Christie, we're gonna have you at 6:30. Okay. Okay. Every time.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yes. Now I could hear you. Now I could hear you. So we gonna switch it around a little bit and have you come at 6:30. Okay. Is
That's
that all
fine.
right?
All
All right.
right.
Very good. Very good. Very good. All right. So we're
all right.
into uh, this the strength to breed, the strength to breed, and I have Dr. Prendergast with me. Jason, how are you
Yes,
doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm blessed. Can't complain. I'm feeling good. Excited to be with the one and only Pastor Shaw. So I'm looking forward to the conversation, man.
Okay, wow, 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 wow. And Doctor, we just came off Women's Month, and I
Mm,
had all these wonderful ladies that stopped by and on the strength to breed. And normally
mm,
we have this is Jamaica at this time, but Nadine's not here today, and we didn't get a segment for that, so we're just going to move you up into that spot and Mr.
okay.
Everton Christie will come after you. Okay, but them ladies, they just spoke a lot about women's mental health. Not they didn't touch on men's mental health, but
Mm,
it's always good to hear it from a man.
yes,
uh,
absolutely.
and of course, uh, what I see here, you're a registered mental health counselor. That's just
Yes.
one of the titles that that
Mhm.
you hold. And welcome. Is this the first time? I thought you were here before. This is the second time.
I feel at home, but
Oh,
no, this is this is the first time I've been here before, so officially
yeah, yeah.
first
It does
opportunity.
seem like you've been here before. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Oh yes, yes.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a child of God. First and foremost,
Praise
I
God.
love the Lord and
Mm,
stand on my faith. But professionally, I'm a clinician.
mhm,
In the world of counseling, not a lot of male black therapists. So definitely,
mm,
I take what I do very seriously, and I think
mhm,
it's an honor to serve in this capacity.
mhm,
I'm the owner, CEO, and founder of Edify Counseling Group. I've been in private practice since 2016, 2017.
mhm,
Currently, I serve individuals. I work with couples. I work with a lot of youth, a lot of men,
mhm,
married couples, you name it. I pretty much take on everything. I was recently blessed to be featured on TLC's 90 Day Fiance. I know it's a very popular show, but The Last Resort. I was
okay.
picked to be one of the three therapists that
Yes.
work with couples, and it's been a great honor to
Mhm,
do that. I've done a few documentaries, one on ESPN right now.
mhm,
But I'm just a servant, man. I'm here to serve the Lord and to help people
mhm.
mentally, emotionally, and
Yeah.
spiritually, just
Yes.
to become a better version of themselves.
Okay. Wow. 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 Okay. So we're glad that you stopped by and in
Okay.
the strength of breed, you're one of the representatives, the male representatives, and
Okay.
let's talk about a little bit about male mental health. Why is it's so important?
I think when you look at society right now, I think a lot of men feel lost. They feel
Yeah.
disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to find their way. I think as a society, and a lot of men have really lost sight of their values,
Mm-hmm.
what's important. We live in this Me Too society, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do to be liked or appreciated. And we've
Mm-hmm.
deviated from the things we hold dear to. So I
Yes.
see a lot of men who are broken, unfortunately, trying to find themselves. But the big reason why mental health is important for men is because we need to be able to express emotionally.
Yeah.
Everything cannot come out as anger. There are other emotions that are suppressed or repressed. And I think
Mm-hmm.
once you give a man the space to be vulnerable and not to be judged, he can be set free.
I like that. I like that. Repeat it again. Once you give a man the
Once you give him the space to be
space.
vulnerable,
Yes.
to be able to release these, suppressed emotions,
Mhm.
and feel safe and not feel judged. You can see tremendous growth, and that's why I love that's one of those moments you just get chills when you just see a guy for the first time
Yeah.
being able to express some emotions. But that's the biggest thing when working with men is just to kind of open up that
Yeah.
valve and let some of that
Yeah.
pressure out. You know.
Yeah. But but the what really struck me about that statement was,
Mhm.
why do we really have to give men the space? Why couldn't they just go ahead and open up? Something must have happened why we recoiled.
We're called to be strong. We're called to be stoic.
Yes.
We're not called to be. A lot of men see emotions as weakness.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, not men. There are some big, parts of society that see men who express emotions as weak, as soft.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we've been hiding behind this false narrative for so long,
Mm-hmm.
and it's destroying relationships. It's destroying marriages, families.
Mm-hmm.
Men cannot be the best version of themselves because they've been hiding behind this mask
Yeah.
of and it's time we take the mask off and we allow them to truly express. I mean, to have emotions is to be human.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
to not be able to express them, I totally understand. Society and just the culture doesn't really allow for men to be vulnerable.
Yes, 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 yes. So when men begin to open up and just be themselves, and to even show emotions and so forth like that, uh, uh, is the culture that we are in, uh, are we ready is the culture ready for it, really?
We're getting there. It's a work in progress. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah,
Since the pandemic,
yeah.
I've seen tremendous growth in the number of men coming into therapy.
Okay.
At one point, I think about 10 to 15% of my clients were men, and now I'm up to like 40%.
Hmm.
And the thing that I'm seeing is a lot of men from the island, a lot of Jamaican and Haitian men
Yeah,
coming in now to therapy. So
yeah,
we're conditioning society to allow men the space, and as long as brothers like you keep hosting shows where we get to talk about mental health,
yeah,
and they can see a black man in
yeah,
this position as a therapist,
yeah.
it is. I think we're moving in the right direction.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
And what are some of the ways that we can reach out to men then? Even from
Mhm.
from a therapist standpoint, and pull them in so that they,
Uh,
yeah. Go
I,
ahead.
I I really think it really starts with the home. I think it starts, generally before, I would get calls from wives, from sisters, from mothers
Mhm.
about their sons, their husbands, their brothers.
Yeah,
They need help, and so I think they still need that support
yeah,
to let them know that they're not alone, that they can have the support of family members. I think is huge. But one of the biggest improvements I've seen is men talking to other men,
yeah.
men opening up. If you're in therapy, if you're a male in
Hmm.
therapy, tell another brother, tell somebody about it. Let them know that it's okay. And
Hmm.
I've gotten so many clients, people coming in saying, "Hey, a friend told me he was working with you, and he's just feeling so much better.
Hmm.
I want to break free of the strongholds, of the things that have been holding me down." So I
Hmm.
think that's a big part of it too, is that we got to reach out and lift our fellow brothers up and let them know it's safe, it's okay
Yeah.
to enter into that space of counseling.
Okay. And when you speak about confidential, being confidential,
Oh, it's huge. Yeah.
that's huge with men, right?
Yes.
We want
Yeah.
to know that if we open up and we shed a couple of tears or so forth like that, then
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's all
Unconditional positive regard is what we as professional counselors will always have.
right. Okay.
And confidentially, as you said, is a big part of the process.
Yes.
Everything that happens in session stays within session.
Hmm. Okay. Wow. Wow. And where is your practice, sir?
I'm in Fort Lauderdale,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I serve the West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, Miami area.
Hmm. Hmm.
Looking to expand and take over the whole country at some point. But right
That's
now, I'm
right.
here in South Florida.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you always got a base up here in Georgia. We'll
I'm coming that way soon. Yeah, it's just I'm
always
actually looking at licensure in Georgia. So
yeah.
God willing, I'll be there soon.
Okay. Yeah. So the emotional well-being of men per se, uh, 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 it begins with even our boys, right?
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
the older men, and I'm an older Jamaican man that's
Hmm.
migrated to the United States. So I've been here for a while now, but still those uh, uh, challenges that face the West Indian man as
Yes.
far as being emotional, and to some degree the same that face the African American men. Uh, uh, we still carry those around with us. Those barriers that needs to be broken down. You know, we can't loosen up. Real men aren't supposed to cry. Uh,
Hmm.
real men uh, are supposed to be. We have to lighten up as far as the way we treat our children. We'll treat our girls beautifully, but when it comes to the boys, boy, we're tough on the boys, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you just hit the nail on the head as far as what needs to happen for us, for the next generation to not continue this pattern. It has to start with the children. And what you said, my parents are from Jamaica. I was born in Chicago, but my parents are Jamaican descent. And
Yes.
just because we were living in the States didn't mean that I was allowed to cry. I was allowed to be emotional.
Yeah.
That wasn't happening in the house. And
Mm,
it took me a long time to figure it out. But what happens is if we don't give them that foundation to be emotional,
mhm,
when they get into marriages, which are
mhm.
full of emotions, when they
Wow.
become fathers, where they have to now deal with emotions, when they go out into the workforce and they have to deal with a population of people they don't know and their emotions,
Mhm.
they're struggling.
Yeah.
The job performance, the happiness in their relationships,
Mm,
but most importantly, the peace within. In order to have
mm,
peace within your world, you got to have peace within, and
yeah.
without that emotional intelligence, it's very difficult to have that peace within.
That peace within. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. You're speaking about just being comfortable in your own skin.
Hmm.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Being accepting of who you really are, your purpose, why were you brought here, or
Hmm.
the opportunity to be here.
Hmm.
You and I believe in God Almighty, and I'm not afraid to say that. So we could agree on that, and we believe that we were brought here for a purpose. Uh,
Absolutely.
God has created each and every one of us for a purpose.
Yes.
We all have an assignment, so to speak, that
Hmm.
we are given that has to be carried out. So how are we supposed to, as men, really carry out that assignment and not be comfortable with ourselves?
Oof. We live in a world where everybody wants to be validated, right? Everybody
Yeah.
wants to be on social media and be liked or followed.
Mhm.
We have a desire for external validation.
Wow.
And when you just mentioned the importance of faith,
Yeah.
I counsel people who are not Christian. I counsel
Yeah.
people who are not believers. I
Mhm.
believe I can eventually let the power of God come through without
Yeah.
forcing it upon people. So
Yes. Yeah.
working with individuals who don't have faith, I can understand how it may take some time, but that's the first validation we should always seek is from the Lord.
Yes.
To know who we are, to know who we belong to know that we are the head and not the tail, that we have been empowered by a God that's mighty and powerful. Don't get me started because I'm ordained. I'll start. I got a title reverend too, so I don't want to get. But
Yeah.
but the internal no amount of external validation will
Yeah.
suffice if there is no internal validation, and
Wow.
that needs to happen on
Ooh.
a daily
Well, brother,
basis.
you just said a mouthful right there.
That's the truth, brother. It
Mm.
don't matter what you get on the outside. You can have the cars, the house, the women.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can have the followers. You can have all that. But if you
Mm.
don't validate yourself from within,
My
it
God.
it doesn't matter. It's nothing.
Yeah. Wow. So, that internal validation,
Yes.
because a lot of times we find that the external thing takes place, and folks are it's like there's an imbalance of the
Hmm.
scales.
Yeah.
It's not balanced because now you're someone's on the deep end of the scale, because guess what, you have placed things uh, in priority that doesn't belong in that spot. We need to prioritize things, and priority begins within
Yes.
us. You know,
Yes.
but there's a lot of folks that are going out there perpetrating a image, so to speak. I say perpetrating an image. When you're perpetrating an image, it looks so good on the outside, but
Right.
then you go home and you die
Yes. Yes.
on the inside.
Absolutely. I just saw, I think it was Will Smith the other day talking about he's driven every car, he's had every house, he's had everything,
Yes.
sometimes you just still feel empty. After you have these things, you just there's never enough. You can
Yeah.
never buy enough happiness.
Hmm.
That external validation gets old. And like I said, if there's not the internal work on a daily basis,
Yes.
an intention to foster self-love on a daily basis,
Mm.
it has to be there. And to know yourself, to get up every morning, and you can just start by affirming things to yourself. You are enough. You are
Mm.
important. You are loved. Just it's so important to do that. I mean, there's no days off. I'm a therapist, and I get up every day and I make sure I affirm things that foster self-love. I don't want anything in this world to validate me other than my Lord and Savior and myself. So it's no days off. It's a constant grind of fighting the world and fighting the culture and because it looks, like you said, it looks good. It looks good when you see these images out there.
Mhm.
Social media is a big issue in counseling,
Yes.
as far
Yes.
as what the false perception of
Mhm.
what happiness and peace is. I think social media. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's good elements to social media. I don't want to bash social media because I'm on it myself, but
Mhm.
what it can do to somebody who does not really know themselves
Yeah.
can be very destructive.
It's all depends on how we use the tools that we're given, and
Exactly.
social media is one of those tools that we're given. And if we use it in the wrong ways, then you're going to get the some results that are not satisfying. Or you
Mhm.
use it but it can be used, and we are using it here in the proper way,
Yes, sir. Yes,
to
sir.
uh, encourage, enlighten, and to build up, those that are around us, and so forth like that. But yeah, 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 yeah. I love that. I love that, Dr. Jason. And what are some of the things that are put in place to uh, help to facilitate men getting more involved in in growing, so to speak, growing.
I think one of the biggest things, and you being a man of clergy, I think the church,
Yeah,
the church is definitely stepping it up when it comes to fostering a discussion around mental health. I've done since the pandemic, probably I've spoken at I can't even count how many churches, but it's from the perspective that they are embracing
yeah.
the psychology world, because for so long it's been theology versus psychology.
Mm,
And I'm sorry, but God gets the glory for everything. And to me, these two worlds can match, can
right.
link up. And so seeing that, the church is being more involved in the discussion.
Mm,
There are so many podcasts right now where people are talking about mental health. So many celebrities are coming out about their mental health struggles.
right.
And I think we need to continue to just keep our foot on the gas, and start having these conversations in the home.
Okay.
With asking people, how is your mental health? Just don't ask people,
Mhm,
how's your day?
mhm.
That's the most boring, generic question, but how are you feeling, man? How's
Yeah,
your mental health?
yeah.
You taking care of yourself. Though that simple question can really foster someone
Mhm,
into focusing on the mental health and making some necessary changes. So it starts within the home, but I
mhm.
think as a society, we need to we need to keep talking about it, keep the discussion going.
Yeah, and that's great. The church is there, but we also would like. I don't know if you do any forums or any workshops that that
Yeah.
in different places.
Mhm.
Outside, because there are those that get church phobia.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I say,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
I don't know if you do any workshops down there as far as in the libraries that sometimes will allow you to rent even a room
Mhm.
there and advertise. You might want to get a group of 10 men to start with.
Yeah.
Start a little place like that they
Yeah.
come out and chat.
Yeah.
Chat, and you begin to teach them these skills.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
teach
Yeah.
them these skills,
Yeah.
because we have to find them where they are.
Yes.
Praise God, praise God. And I say find people where they are, because I'm a man of God, and Christ found people where they were. You
Hmm.
know, and we,
Yes.
he is my example. So I know sometimes we have to break out of those four walls.
Hmm.
Of the church, and go
Yeah.
out, meet them where they are, and sometimes it's right out there in the community, in the libraries. A friend of mine even did a session in the park. We're going running this morning, but before we go run this morning, we're going to spend a good 15 minutes here to speak about just how we're feeling, how we're
Yes.
doing, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I think you're so right about that. I think workshops are phenomenal,
Mhm.
and also group sessions are really good, because what sitting down with a bunch of men, you realize that you're not the only one. Yes,
Right.
other men are going through what you're going through.
Yeah.
Other men are struggling financially. Other men are struggling in their relationships. Other men are struggling with their self-esteem and their confidence.
Mhm.
And it just is empowering to see that, right now women are just they're doing it big time, man. They're getting together in groups, and they're going out and having lunches, and
That's
they're
right.
really they're putting in the work, and we need to follow that model. We as men need to be able to come together and be vulnerable and just talk about real life stuff and pour into each other and support each other. I'm telling you, when that happens, you see tremendous growth. I say this all the time.
Mhm.
Um, I believe men progress faster in
Yeah.
therapy,
Mhm.
because it's all about just opening up that valve and releasing all those years of emotions.
Mhm.
And once they open up that valve and they can feel free and they can talk about things, I've seen tremendous turnarounds in a matter of weeks, sometimes even in between sessions, where I see somebody, and then the next week
Mhm.
they just can't stop talking about, oh, I called, I'm talking to my mother now, I'm talking to my sister now, I'm
Right.
just,
Right.
I'm opening up to people, and
Yeah.
it's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
So, Dr. Jason, uh, you're down there in Florida again, and just
Yeah.
give us your location. Someone might be listening,
Okay.
watching today, and they're saying, "Wow, I need to get with Dr. Pendergrass. How can they get in touch with you?"
You can reach out. I have a very simple number, 888-77-EDIFY. The name of my practice is Edify Counseling. That's EDIFY. You can find me on IG at, here we go, social media, at Dr. Jason Anthony. That's Dr. Jason Anthony. My name of my practice is Edify Counseling Group. I also have a IG and a Facebook page called Edify Counseling Group. My website is www.edifycounseling. As you see, everything is
Mhm.
edify.com. And yeah, just reach out to me. Not only am I, obviously people who want to, get help with their mental health, but I'm looking to get more brothers into this profession.
Yeah.
We represent 6%. Blacks represent 6% of
Wow.
the counseling profession. Out of that 6%, like 1 or 2% are men. So it's a dire need, as more men are coming to counseling.
Yeah.
I do get a lot of calls that, I'm looking for a black male therapist, but it's just not enough of us.
Mhm.
So that's something I think, if the demand is there, the supply isn't. So I really want to make sure we're getting this message, but even back to the younger kids, and building programs that foster,
Yeah.
the knowledge of counseling as a profession.
Mhm.
I mean, it's pretty interesting. I mean, to get back to how people, and if people worried about making money, don't worry, you can make money as a therapist.
Yeah, yeah, and it's good to know that for you to let them know that here, this is how you can get involved.
Absolutely.
This is a wide open field for you. I started off as a psychology major myself, and somehow
Okay.
switched.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, I believe I had only like 4 credits left to finish my
You got
bachelor's.
to finish that. We need you. We need you in the field, sir.
I just turned my back and went the other way, But,
Okay.
but praise God, And
Amen. Amen.
it's
Yeah.
needed field. But we, uh, Dr. Pendergrass, we just barely even scratched the surface, and I want to bring you back at another time where we could can go deeper in it. So two invites I'm giving you. I'm giving you another invite to come back when we could deal with a full segment.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, I would like for us to have a panel also in June.
Mm.
June is men's that's men's month. Women's month, that's men's month. So we are gonna have men on in June. We'll be featuring men, and you'll be one of the men, the men that will be featuring in June. And also, I'd like to invite you back for the entire panel, where the entire screen here will become a panel, and we'll have men just speaking to each other. Praise God, just speaking to each other and encouraging each other, and how we can become better. Help to our wives and so forth like that. They're the
Yeah.
help meet, but we are actually the ones that they're supposed to be helping. But it seems the other way around now.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'll be honored. You let me know. I'll be ready for you, sir.
Yes, definitely. So, Dr. Pendergrass, thanks for stopping in again. And as I said, we want you back fully.
Yes, I'll
Fully,
be back.
yes, and we'll touch it and get deeper down into things. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you,
Okay. Very
brother.
good.
Take
All right.
care.
Have
All
a
right, Pastor.
blessed evening now. Okay.
Yes.
Very good then.
Bye-bye.
All right. Very good. So this is Pastor Rob here, and Edify Counseling Group. That's Dr. Jason Pendergrass group, Edify Counseling Group, and I'll get some information for you and have it available for you next week, so that anyone that's is in the area or just want to reach out to Dr. Pendergrass can reach out to Dr. Pendergrass. This is Jamaican Explosion on a Saturday evening, and we have one more person to speak with here before we end our show out today. It's been an interesting show. It's been a show of all men today. Okay, normally we have we have ladies on, but today it just happens that we have all men. Okay, and I'm going to bring back onto the Jamaican Explosion screen, Mr. Everton Christie. How you doing? Let's hear it for Everton. Everton, how you doing?
I am doing awesome. Hopefully, we're clear with the volume.
Yeah, no, yeah. Everything's nice now. Everything is good. All thing in its due time for its purpose. So it's good to have you with us this evening. First time you're on this forum with me, huh?
I'm most certainly, and hey, I'm super excited being side by side with you. Oh.
That's definitely good. But every time anybody has to be excited to be side by side with you, because you are the financial person, you are the financial guru, you are the financial man. So come on, Everton, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Hey, my name is Everton Christie. I am a financial representative here in the state of Georgia. All right, but I do operate in 15 other states also. One thing's for sure, I definitely know that financial education is a key and a critical part of our being. It's almost like water. We have to have it. If we don't have it, we're bound to make mistakes. We have seen countless individuals work hard on all their life.
Yes, sir.
And then wind up dirt poor. They don't have the financial mean how to take care of themselves, because a lot of it's because of not planning. Right? Hey, just similarly like myself, I'm a Jamaican. My mom moved here with 8 kids. That's a lot to deal with. All right. So therefore, she didn't have all the resources in regards to knowing what needs to be done. So she's made some mistakes over the life, but she has done well for herself also. All right. But the challenge that we are all facing today is not unique. All right. 79% of Americans are feeling financial stress every single day. All right. More than half of Americans are working paycheck to paycheck. They're trying to figure out, how do they cover their bill? How do they make sure everything is covered from a week to week? That's a challenge, right? But one of the big challenges that they have is 62% of Americans are carrying credit card debt, at least minimum $10,000. Now, that's a daunting task just to get out of, because if you don't understand the finance, once you get into debt, it's hard to get out of it. Right? A lot of us may take the route of, well, I'm going to file bankruptcy and so forth. But guess what? Now you're eliminated from the financial process of society for at least 10 years or more, because you can't participate in it. So we have to start learning that we need to understand how finances work, learn the processes and the procedures that the system works on. All right, because when we look at it, the turbulence has changed a lot of things over time. All right. When we're thinking about the 2020 roll around and everybody's talking about the computer bug that was going to happen, didn't happen, right? So everybody panicked. Everybody was saying, I'm going to the bank and I'm going to pull out all my money and everything.
Right.
Nothing happened. But right behind it, what occurred? We had the dot-com bubble.
Okay.
That works and detrimented our finances for a while. Right? COVID came along. How many of us were wind up being out of work for more than a year? And then when you look at it, how many of them were able to try to figure out how do they take care of themselves for a year with no income coming in? So our wonderful government, all right, they said, okay, let's help out the people. So they go ahead and they start giving out these stimulus checks. Well, we all have to understand that when they give something, they're expecting something back.
That's right.
All right. So we all jumped and said, yeah, great, I'm taking the money. But now when it comes around, certain options are no longer available to you, where taxes going up. You have the interest rates gone up. All right. So what are we doing? We're paying more at the pump and everything else.
That's for sure.
Right? And now none of us have any control over some of those stuff, even sometime with our government. All right. Because guess what? One of the things that you also know, this country has been creating more oil than they have ever had in the last 20 years. But why is the price of the pump still high?
I don't know.
Because we're in a world that we're not by ourselves. OPEC has decided they're going to reduce production. So if they reduce production, it's going to cost more for us here. So even though we're pumping out more, it's still high. So we have to start understanding how the world works, because we're not in a microcosm anymore. We're all a part of this big old world that we need to. But we have to start thinking about our household.
Okay. All right. Talk to me.
All right. We have always had the process where we're thinking about, when we think about finances and our future and building it out, we normally thought of three things. One, Social Security. It wasn't created to be a finite giving away of money or people getting money, and this is the only money they're living on. Right now, you have at least close to 70% of the U.S. That's all their source of income is. It was normally designed for the low income and for those who didn't plan for it. So you're telling me 70% of our population is in that boat? That's a daunting task to think about, right? Companies have also decided, hey, we used to give pension. You grew up, you get a job, and you work at that job for what? 30, 40 years. You retire, and they said, oh, we're going to be giving you this for the rest of every single year for the rest of your life. They said, sorry, we can't do that anymore. We can't afford it. So they took away pension and said, now you have to start planning for your own self. But how many of us changed that and switched that over in our mind? We're working at the job, we're doing what we're supposed to do there, but we're not putting it away for our own self. We're not planning for ourselves. We're still in the mindset that they're going to provide for us. That 401k,
yes,
It's a vehicle provided for you to have financial resource for your future. You
Right.
have to plan it. You have to invest. You have to build it up.
Mm.
They say most people, if you ask them right now, who manages your 401k?
Mm.
They're going to tell you the company does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the company says, sorry, we don't do that.
Right.
We got rid of pension. That was our responsibility. 401k is your responsibility. What you do is entirely up to you. What you have later is up to you.
Mm-hmm.
But we're also a society of spenders.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
We're not a society here in the U.S. of saving and saving and saving for the future.
Mm-hmm.
What we get with our check, we're by the time the end of the week comes, we don't know where the next dollar. We're waiting for the next paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Which why people are living paycheck to paycheck because they're not planning. Everything requires planning. We have to start thinking about ourselves and making ourselves a priority.
Mm-hmm.
If we're not a priority, yeah, the government's still going to say we have a plan for you.
Mm-hmm.
But who do you want to have a plan for you? Yourself or the government?
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have to start thinking about what we are doing, what we're educating our kids. We look at TikTok, we look at Facebook, we look at Snapchat. All these different websites bring us information, and we all like this instant gratification.
Mm.
But what is it costing us?
Right. So how do we start, Everton? Most of us walk around with blinders on when it comes to financial literacy. You know, we hear it. We don't take it too seriously until it happens to us. You know what I'm saying? Where do we start? What kind of programs are there to bring someone into the light, so to speak, to enlighten those that are just walking around blindly, living from paycheck to paycheck, throwing that pension, not even paying attention to what's going on with the money there and so forth like that. Where do we start?
All right. Well, the first place that we have to start is that man in the mirror. We
Mm.
have to look at him and say, okay, what do I want? Where am I going to go? And how will I secure the future that I want to have?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we have workshops that we offer
Okay.
Monday through Friday,
Mm-hmm.
2 p.m. So if you work the night shift, you can still catch it. 8 p.m. if you're coming home, or 10 p.m. if you're a little later coming home.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the challenges that I'm having, and I see people says, oh, I'm too busy at that time. I'm busy with this. Well, guess what? You make a plan, and everybody plans for everything. You plan for your vacation. You plan for your parties.
Mm-hmm.
You plan all those activities. But
Mm-hmm.
how about planning 1 hour out of your day to say,
Okay.
hey, I'm going to feed my mind in how I can make sure that the future that I have is going to be designed by me, and I will have information not only with the classes. If you need to pick up the phone and give us a call, we're going to be there to help you answer the question. We're going to be there to break it down in detail for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Because everyone always knows there is a household, and it's built solidly because you put a foundation in, you built the walls, you put everything in the walls, and then you finally put on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, your finances is just the same way. But the process that it works out, protection becomes the first part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when you buy a car, guess what? They don't let you drive off the lot without an insurance on it.
That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
We buy these expensive phones, the iPhones and so forth. Guess what? The first thing we do, we put warranty on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's an insurance. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We buy a home. If you don't have enough money, don't have the high enough amount to put down, guess what the banks ask you to do? PMI, a private mortgage insurance.
That's
but
right.
guess what? All of that, who does it protect?
Mm-hmm.
It protects the car dealership and who loaned you the money for it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The PMI protects the bank, not you and your home. All
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to start thinking about what is the priority. Look at the man in the mirror. That is, if you remember, you are the entity, you are the whole thing that brings resource to the home. But you don't put that much value on. You put a value on all those other things, but not on you, of what you bring to the home. So you got to start thinking about, how do I protect my income? That is the basis of every solid financial foundation for every household. The next thing that we have to get in control is our debt. As I said, we're a spending society. We have to control our debt. When we think about it, how much money do we spend every single day and create debt that we're paying what? Interest.
Yes, that's for sure.
All right. Then if we look at the process, we said, okay, you should put away something for a rainy day. My mom and my dad and my grandparents always say, put away something for a rainy day. All right. It's called the emergency fund. How much should you have in that emergency fund? Well, we have a process. We tell you how much. If you make $2,000 every single month, multiply that times 6.
Wow.
That should be sitting liquidly available, because it's going to protect those emergencies. Will they happen? The tire break, the tire blowout in the car.
Yeah, they surely do happen.
The washing machine breaks down at home. The system got to keep going.
Yeah.
But the top of that whole process is investment. Where do most people run to? The top. They start doing all the investment, and all the others levels are completely unprotected. So if you have a quarterback, he is the investment up there, and you don't put any lineman or defense around him, do you think you're going to win that football game? So why do we do it for our own household?
Right. Yeah. So you mentioned about getting your education for this conferences and at World System Builder. Do you guys come around to churches, different places, and put workshops on or things like that?
We do it wherever we need to go. We go to churches. We go to the library. Hey, they used to say, hey, hide $1 million to the book in the library, and nobody will ever find it because nobody's going there. Well, we're bringing people back to the library. All right.
All right.
We go to institution. We go to even small daycare centers where the kids, because guess what? If the kids' minds are being fed today, what will their future be? They're going to go home and start asking mom, well, mom, do you have a life insurance? Mom, do you have a 529 for me for college? These are questions they're going to come, and then the parents are going to be like, oh, wait a minute. Somebody's educating them. We go wherever we are allowed to come in, and we provide that information. Or we just sit, we do it on Zoom, or we sit with the individual one-on-one.
Wow, that's good. That's good. So we I look forward to attending even a couple of those classes. Do you do an assessment first of what your financial situation? When a person comes to you, do you make an assessment of where they are financially and how are they doing with their money upkeep?
Well, Rob, we will definitely do a personal assessment of the individual. And we're doing it along with them so they see and understand it, because they have to be educated, because this is something that they're going to have to practice over and over. Now, coming to the workshop class, what I want to do for them is to open up their mind till they start seeing and understand. They're going to generate questions. The bells and whistles are going to start going off in their mind. Come back and see me, because that's when I want to have the conversation. I can explain to you, because that's what, at that point, you're going to tell me what's going on in your household and how can I assist you in making it better or improve on it. Because I can stick somebody in a workshop class and they're going to have a ton of questions. But if I'm sitting there going through the PFS and so forth, they're like, well, why do you want my information? Why do you want that? I'm private with my household. Okay, I completely understand. And I don't want to ruffle your feather, but the more information, the more I can help you. All right. If if a football player is going to be playing football, he's going to need a coach. He's going to need somebody to help him work out. Somebody's going to push him beyond where he is right now.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you're going to be able to get that help is that if you didn't get the information, and it's not in school, it's not in colleges. So, because they teach us how to go out. They teach us how to go out there and get a job.
Right.
We become specialists in our job. The dynamics of a job is that you be there for 50, 60 years and you hope you retire and they give you a nice watch, which the watch when they give you is just to tell you it's about time for you to go so I can hire somebody else.
That's right.
You've been here too long and therefore your salary is too high.
Yeah.
Right?
I love that. I love that. Woo. Yeah, and it's so true. You're lucky if you even get a watch these days. Oh, all right. They probably just want to every time give you what I call the last supper. You know. Oh,
whatever they're gonna call it. Hey, but I want to go out. When I'm going out, I'm prepared, and know that when I walk out the door, it's just like when you have a child at home, you want to prepare them, groom them, so when they walk out and they leave your home, they're going to be able to survive out there. They're going to be able to function. Not that they're going to go out there and guess what? And too often we're finding them, they're coming back home. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I have 3 boys.
Yeah.
Once they're out, the last one is about to finish up college. When you're finished and you're getting it, I've been guiding you.
Right.
It's going to be an empty house, empty nest. Mom may not like it, but they have to learn how to stand on their own. And the same thing if you have girls.
Yes.
You want them to go out there and understand the challenges they're going to face and how to overcome them. If they don't know and they don't see you demonstrating it, they're going to make the same mistakes.
Yeah. As we even speak about financial security and taking care of our financial business, so to speak, I believe even the older folks in Jamaica, grandmother and so forth like that, they might not have had the education that we had, but they knew something about saving and putting away this. And you find a lot of times they would tell you, if you get something, put a little way, a little thing away from me. So it's just plain common sense, really. You know what I'm saying, Everton? It's we have all these fancy terms about it these days, but the reality is our grandmothers were sometimes way better at saving than we are. When you think about the fact that many, speaking from a Caribbean perspective, Jamaican perspective, many of our grandparents had their own homes. And then you find the generation that has come after, the generations that have come after are living in tenement yards and different things, and just got away from the wise money practices. But I'm glad that there are individuals like yourself who are bringing it back to focus. Bringing it back into our eyes that, look, guys, we ought to do better than this with our money. And I don't know if Everton, if it's something that you see across the races, or is it something that the black race or the African race needs more help in?
I would say it's across all cultures, because I've seen it and I've assisted different individuals from different culture, and they all want the same identical thing. They want to be able to be prosperous and they're able to take care of themselves and take care of their kids, and then be able to pass on to them. Now, as you said, the Jamaicans, yes, grandma did fabulous, always putting away. She passed on that to her kids. They did a lot, and they were more about owning. I want to have my own home. I want to have my own this. All right. The two generation after that, they're more thinking about, well, I want to know who, what to do, where to go, and they're worried about everything else than what they have built. They're concerned about the neighbor down the road. Well, the neighbor has this. Well, I don't know what the neighbor is doing. I don't know whether they have the finances, whether they're borrowing it, or whether they're trusting it. Worry about your household. That's the only thing you can control. And if you start off and saving your money, putting away that for that rainy day, right? But today we are teaching people how, okay, you're putting away for a rainy day. Let's figure out where you're going to put it. All right. Because if it's for your emergency fund, yeah, your rainy day can be in your home. It could be in a safety deposit box, wherever you're going to keep it liquid, or in your bank account.
Okay.
But when you start talking about investment for the future, it can't sit there, because guess what? If you put it onto the mattress, how much interest do you get?
That's right.
So your money is not working for you. All right. Because remember, you work for your money. Now that you've got it, what do you do with it? Now, even in the financial industry, there is a formula. It's just like if you were baking, you got to do it the right way. All right. In the financial industry, the formula sets the money that is put into your financial wheelhouse that you're trying to build. You need to make sure you understand you're going to need time for it to grow. It's not where you plant a tree today, you can't have apples tomorrow. It's going to take time, right? The more time you give it, the more it can grow. The other thing you have to think about is the rate of return. How much interest are you getting on your money? Under the mattress is 0.
That's right.
In the bank, right about now, they said, hey, they're going to give you 2%, 1%, right? Or even with the high yield, they say, hey, we're going to give you 4 or 5%. Well, great. But one of the things I also have to think about is inflation. What is the rate of inflation? Right now, it's 3.5%. So if you give me 4%,
right,
inflation takes 3.5 back. What am I getting? Just a half. So you're behind the 8 ball. You're losing money anyway. All right. Now, here in the United States, taxes exist. Even on the IRS website, it says you are required to pay your taxes, but it doesn't require you to pay the maximum amount so long as it's within the law. Whatever deduction, whatever exemptions you can take, so long as you're permitted, take it. We don't have a problem with it, right? Don't steal from them, because they can prove it, all right? So that's not one that you want to work with. Now, along with all of that, one of the things I mentioned was interest rate.
Right.
Now, interest rate can be working for you, or it can be working against you. Now, if in the bank, they're giving you what? 2%, 4%, okay? Now, what about those credit cards out there where they're charging you 18%, 30%, 36%? Well, are those interest rate working for you or against you? Well, here's the process to know whether or not they're working for you. If it's a credit card and they're charging you 30%, there's a rule that was designed by a pretty smart guy, Albert Einstein, a long time ago. And the formula is still used today by all financial institutions. All right. Divide 72 by the amount of the interest they're giving you. So if you divide 30 into 72, it's 2 point something, right?
That's correct.
Well, that 2 point something means that's how long it will take if you took out a $10,000 loan before it becomes $20,000. All right. Now, reverse it the other way. You put your money in the bank, and the bank is giving you what? 2%. How long is the money going to take for double? 36 years.
My God.
So who's winning?
The bank, of course. Yeah. But Everton, we have to have you back. This is your first time on this forum. And as I say, we're going to have you back for a full segment. But what I want to do the next time I have you back, I want to have some live folks that are on screen with us. And we'll have they'll ask you some questions, as well as put some live scenarios to you, and then we could go from there. Okay. But for those of you that are on Jamaican Explosion this evening, we have Mr. Everton U. Christie. I forgot to ask him what the U stand for. but,
It's a long name in the Christie line, Uriah.
Uriah. Okay, all right, that's good. Good name. Good name. And he is, of course, senior marketing director and a licensed financial representative at the World System Builder. Go ahead, before because we kind of exhausted our time here
Yeah.
today. Give them your address and telephone number and so forth like that, where you can be reached.
All right. Well, you can definitely reach out to me. My number is 919-218-4962. That's 919-218-4962. I'm located in Norcross,
Okay.
Georgia, which is 5880 Live Oak Parkway.
Mm-hmm.
Stop on by. We have a great office, great atmosphere to be able to show you and go over a lot of information. Being in our atmosphere, you will definitely learn a lot of information. All right. If you are online, you can definitely reach out to me at wsbcampaign.com Everton C. That's wsbcampaign.com/Everton C.
All right. Okay then. All right, Mr. Everton, and we'll have you back. Believe you me, and we're gonna plan that next show. Okay.
We're going to make it happen.
We're gonna answer some questions for some folks while we are on the air. Okay. Very good. All right.
Thank you
So
so much for having me, and it's been a complete joy and a pleasure being with you. Hey,
yeah, all the time, all the time. So Everton, have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll catch up on Tuesday evening over at the other show. Okay.
yeah, man, yeah, man.
All right. Respect. Yeah.
Respect. Take care.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Yes, folks. So that kind of did it for this show here. And we invite you to come back and be with us next Saturday when we'll have a brand new episode of Jamaican Explosion for you. We want to thank all our guests for stopping by today. Mr. Willie Stewart from the Third World Band, former director and member of Third World, stopped by for a chat with us earlier today. Dr. Jason Pendergrass, who we will have back too. And of course, Mr. Everton Christie, he was just laying down so much financial knowledge that I know that we have to spend some time with him, because I've got to save that money or find out how to invest that money in the proper way. So I invite you back next time. This is Pastor Rob saying, until next week here at Jamaican Explosion, each and every one, I want you to do as we always say, walk good until next time. Have a blessed evening.